All right, hello, I'm Mr. Rogers,
And I'm Mrs. Froman.
and these are the video notes for, well, it's on section 2-3 in your book. It's on insects, and we're still in the arthropod phylum, but we figured insects is such a big, broad category, they deserve their own special video. So insects. Again, these guys are arthropods, so think about the jointed appendages, all those things. They have those. As far as how they feed, basically anything and everything depends on the species. So it really does. So you think about some leaves, nectar, paper, blood droppings, just kind of depends on the type of insect. And so their mouth parts are adapted specifically to what they eat. Like right now, I actually saw this exhibit at the Nichols Center in Rockford, the butterfly exhibit right now.
Yeah.
You could see it, and you could see them drinking, and a lot of them had that long snout to get down and uncoils, and it goes in the nectar, so you can get a drink of nectar. Think about grasshoppers, things like that, or even we have here, I think it's a praying mantis. They chew, so they're much more for chewing up, sucking mouth parts for like flies that bite and things like that. So it really just depends on what they eat. Their mouth is adapted for that.
So the life cycle of insects, they hatch from their hard-shelled eggs, and they go through one of two types of metamorphosis. We talked a little about this in the last one, but the two separate types are the complete, which is when you have the larva, which doesn't look anything like the adults, and then we have, that's the complete.
That's the complete, yep.
Yes. And then you have the ones that have a nymph, and that's incomplete. And they have, it just looks like a little tiny adult.
Yeah.
When they
So a
hatch
tiny
out.
nymph, like a little guy right
They just
there.
get bigger. They don't really change in how they look.
Yeah. Here's over here the complete's your classic caterpillar,
like the
butterfly.
butterfly,
Yeah,
yeah.
classic one, yep.
Yeah.
So what happens for the complete metamorphosis, the first type? So we have the egg, hatches the larva, again, which looks different than the pupa. Think about a caterpillar to a butterfly. At some point it goes into a pupa. A lot of times like the chrysalis of the butterfly, it's that protective covering. And so inside there is when it does that big transformation from the larva to an adult, and it comes out as an adult looking stage we think of that animal looking at. So egg, we even think here of like a housefly.
Yeah.
Egg, larva, which would be like the
Maggots.
yep, it goes through a pupa stage, then the adult fly. So it's that complete. There's a complete change from the larva to the adult.
And incomplete, or also called gradual metamorphosis, is they don't have that larval stage. The egg hatches into a nymph, which looks just like the adult, and it just molts several times. So we talked about how our bones are on the inside, and their kind of skeleton is on the outside. So it doesn't grow with them. Once they get bigger, they have to shed that and get a new one.
So examples like praying mantis, when they hatch out the eggs, the tiny little praying mantis, things like that. Grasshoppers, when they're tiny little, they just kind of molt and they get bigger every time. So our insect bodies, a little different than the other arthropods so far. Oxygen enters through tubes in the exoskeleton. Actually, you hear in the abdomen, there's a few that openings.
You can look closely. You can see the little holes along there.
So they don't breathe with their mouth. That's kind of one of the weird things about insects. And so these arthropods, they have three major sections. I'll tell them from like the arachnids from the other day. They have a head, thorax, and abdomen are the three major parts. So in the head, obviously you have the antennas, you have the eyes. In the thorax, this middle section, the way to tell an insect is all of the wings and all the legs are attached in that middle thorax section. And then the back here, the abdomen, tends to carry most of those internal organs. Are going to be back here in the abdomen.
So defense that insects have, they have that hard exoskeleton to help protect them. They have really quick responses. If you've ever tried to catch a fly, it's not always very easy. They could have a bad smell or a taste.
Yeah,
like
box elder
those
bug.
box elder bugs, those Asian lady beetles too.
It's like, why are they so slow? They should be picked off, but that's because no one wants to eat them.
Yeah, and some ants too are really stinky. They could have stingers to help protect themselves. Camouflage, if you look at that moth up there, or that little, I don't know what that is, some kind of a leaf hopper or something. It looks like a thorn though.
Yeah.
So they blend in with their surroundings, or they fake the predators out by looking like an owl. You're not going to mess with that. Yeah. So that would be mimicking, resembling other animals.
So are they good or bad? So we get a lot of that, oh, we hate all bugs, they're all bad. Are they really though? Some can cause crop damage and diseases.
Yeah.
But by and large, I mean, there's a big issue that now, just in terms of how we use pesticides. The bee population is being destroyed. There's a blight also that's going through.
Yeah, bees have a lot of problems.
Not a problem. So without them, we can't pollinate any crops that creates all the fruit that we eat. So we need those guys to pollinate the fruits and vegetables, so we have things to eat after they're pollinated as they grow into the fruits and vegetables.
Right. There's actually farmers that rent bees to put in their fields so they can get a decent yield from their crops, because the bees are having so many problems.
So some do cause some problems, but by and large, I think we're much better with them than without them.
Definitely. So one thing we use to try and get rid of those insects are insecticides, and that's using chemicals. But the problem is that can kill the good insects and the bad insects. And over time, those insects are going to become resistant to the chemicals, just like the bacteria get resistant to antibiotics. The best thing is biological controls, using insects that prey on other insects. So you can get like a little case of praying mantis eggs from gardening supply places. Put those in your yard, and they'll hatch out into praying mantis, and then they'll eat the bad insects around your yard.
There you go.
And then there's also bacteria that attack certain species of insects that would kill them off. So.
All right, very cool. So, 7th grade, we're going to stop there. We thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you along the way.
Bye.